What's going on, good people? This video I'm going to talk about the assembly that I did for a water rowing machine. This was the first time I've ever put together a water rowing machine, so there was a little bit of a learning curve here, but ultimately I was able to get it done fairly quickly. So let's roll these opening credits. All right, so this particular exercise equipment is the Mr. Right rowing machine. The customer purchased it from Amazon. I'm not sure of the specifics of the cost, but it did, as you see here, came in 2 boxes. The longer portions of it, which I will show you here shortly, are in this box, and then everything else that goes to the rowing machine was contained in this box. All right, and so here is the finalized product. So these two horizontal black parts were contained in the longer, narrower box, and then everything else, so the water tank, the pool, the feet rest, the seats, and this back support were all contained in that square box that you saw in the previous photo. The water tank and the support here for the cables and so forth were already assembled. I did not have to put that part together. The only part I had to put together was the left and right tracks, this back support here. The seat was already assembled too. You just had to slide it onto the rails, and these rails I do believe are metal rails and not plastic rails, and they have wheels on the top, but they also have wheels on the inside of the track, similar to how if you ever paid attention to a roller coaster, usually there's a set of wheels on top of the rails, and then there's a set of wheels on the inside of the rails, so that when the roller coaster goes around those curves, that it stays on the track. And so this seat is set up in a similar fashion for that. The foot pedals I did have to assemble. You just slide these two black footrests up here and here, and there's a slot on this part here where it slides in, and then they lock in place with the button in the middle. And so to adjust them, you have to press the button down, push it up, or pull it down, and then you can adjust the height based upon your preferences. Um, the entire footrest, this wooden portion here, does attach at the rails on the left and right side. There's 2 bolts here and 2 bolts here, and then there's also 2 bolts here that go past these stops that are located here. As I mentioned, the water tank, the pool, and the blade inside of the water tank were already there. It didn't have to assemble it. It came pre-assembled in the package. This plastic tubing here is for the water pump that comes with the rowing kit. It has a water pump, so like you get a mop bucket or something of that nature, you fill it up with water, and then you put the pump you put one end of the pump into the mop bucket, and then you put the other end of the pump into the opening for the water tank, and it literally pumps the water from one to the other side. And then if you ever need to move the machine, you have to pump the water out. So you pretty much flip the pump the opposite direction. And so you put the inlet of the pump inside the water tank, and then the outlet into, let's say, the mop bucket on the other end. And that's how you get the water out of the tank. This unit, although you can't see it, it does have wheels on the end over here. So there's one on each side, and you can stand it up and roll it around. It does have a cable, so this cabling system, when you row, it will pull back and forth. And so there is a cable. You can kind of see the cable here, but it kind of disappears under the rest of the equipment. But this cable comes all the way around back over here, and you literally just connect the two together. And so it kind of pulls back, and as you pull back and forth, it pulls kind of like a rubber band would. Um, there is some diagnostic, or kind of like if you've ridden a not a treadmill. If you rode an exercise bike from like the 90s or 2000s where they had the electronics on board, this has that same thing. It is powered by 4 AA batteries. Batteries are included in the kit. I did notice that this has Bluetooth connectivity, so I'm assuming there's some kind of app that you can connect to this machine that it will log the data from the screen here to your phone to track your workouts. I did do a couple of test pulls, and when I did the test pull, the electronics screen here immediately started counting like the duration of the workout and calories burned and all those other sets of information that you would probably want to have being tracked in your workout. So ultimately, this was a fairly easy assembly. It took about an hour to complete. I did make a 1 or 2 errors here because I originally, when I went to secure this, I forgot to put these two, they call them stops in the assembly instructions. So I forgot to put the 2 stops in there. And as I was tightening it down, I realized, oh, you're probably missing something here, because the bolt kept going. Because normally when you have a longer bolt, and it hits the, I guess, stopping point in there, but this bolt did not hit a stopping point. But it was once I reviewed the instructions a little bit further that I realized I was missing what goes there. So I will give this a very easy project to assemble yourself. However, I'm willing to assist any customer that has any doubts about their confidence in assembling instructions or following the assembly instructions. This data sheet here also has more information about how to use the touchscreen here and how to properly do a workout on this particular machine. So that wraps things up for this video. If you have any questions about this water rowing machine, feel free to drop those down in the comment section below. I'll be glad to help you with any assembly instructions. As far as the workout steps, I may not be as knowledgeable since I don't actually own this machine, nor did I actually do any workouts on the machine, but I can help you with the assembly instructions. If this is your first time to the channel, please be sure to consider to subscribe to the channel. New videos every week on Tuesday and Saturday. And most importantly, please give this video a thumbs up so that I know that you are interested in seeing more content like this. Until next time, peace out.